Chapter 10 from Runt. I'm wondering how he's going to be affected by these humans and what happens next. Runt woke to moonlight and to a rough tongue scouring his face. "Mother!" He leapt to his feet, but the beast licking him was not his mother. She was about the same size as Silver, heavier in the body perhaps, not as long in the legs. Her coat was reddish gold, her eyes mild in a way Runt found disconcerting. Everything about the creature reeked of humans. Who are you?" Runt stammered. "I am Dog," she spoke softly. "They call me Goldie." He studied Goldie's face. It was pleasant, even kindly, but somehow not especially intelligent. "Do you know the humans who live here?" he asked, feeling strangely as though he should be the one taking care of her. "Did they help you too?" Her brow furrowed. "Know the humans? Of course, they are my masters." Masters? It was a new word for Runt, a strange one. "I belong to them," Goldie added, as though the word belong would help him to understand. It didn't. Goldie wasn't a puppy. She was even well past being a yearling. Adult wolves honored their leaders. They honored them because the leaders were strong, skillful hunters, wise in the ways of the world. But they never belonged to them. They belonged only to themselves. "But why?" Runt asked. "Why would you let them own you?" "They feed me," Goldie replied cheerfully. "They scratch me behind the ears. They get out my leash and take me for walks." Runt could understand the importance of being fed. The adults in his pack fed him, after all, and he loved being groomed. But being taken for a walk? "What is a leash?" he asked. "It's a kind of rope," Goldie answered. "They tie it to my collar here, see?" Goldie scratched at a tight band around her neck that Runt hadn't noticed before. "And then they take me with them wherever they go." Runt shook his head. He couldn't seem to understand, though Goldie spoke clearly enough. "The humans are so clumsy," he said, "so slow-moving. Surely you don't let them tie you to them." But Goldie seemed offended by his question. "Of course I do. They take care of me. Don't you understand?" Runt shivered. This dog was little better than a prisoner. No animal he knew kept another captive in this way. Still, when Goldie went back to lick Runt's sore face once more, he closed his eyes, enjoying the touch of her gentle tongue. "Where did you come from?" she asked between licks. "Who took care of you before my humans found you?" And so Runt told about his kindly mother, his proud father, the cozy den he had been born in, his brothers and sisters there. He even told her about Biter, though he didn't mention that Biter had once called his father a coward. "Goodness," Goldie said at last, "so many of you. Who sees that you're all fed?" "The hunters. They go out and find food for all the rest." "Every day?" "Well, no, they don't bring food every day. When they can make a kill, they do. When they can't—" The intensity of Goldie's stare stopped Runt's explanation. "When they can't?" Goldie prompted. "Why, of course we wait." It seemed an odd question. When the pack had food, everyone ate. That was all. When they didn't, what else was there to do but wait for the next hunt? The hunters missed far more frequently than they scored. About 3 attempts out of 4 ended in failure. That was the way of hunting. Still, they brought food home often enough to keep the pack healthy. "My owners give me food every day," Goldie said, and there was a note of finality in her voice, as though eating every day were very important. Perhaps the most important thing of all. Runt glanced over at the bowl the humans had put meat in for him and saw it was empty. Apparently Goldie had enjoyed the food her humans had left for him too. But who needed to eat every day except for a nursing baby? Was this why Goldie seemed so soft, so like a pup despite her mature years? Because she sat around waiting for someone to feed her day after day? Runt thought of the humans he had seen, their clumsy walk, their unprotected skin, their dull teeth. "Where do your humans hunt for food?" he asked. "How do they kill it?" But clearly Golden didn't know, because she only looked at him blankly. "Haven't you ever asked them?" Runt prompted. "Of course not," Goldie replied. "They wouldn't understand if I did." Runt was amazed. He had noticed the humans' strange, incomprehensible gabbing, but he had thought, well, he didn't know what he had thought exactly. He moved closer to Goldie, speaking distinctly in case she was the one who might fail to understand. "Any squirrel or rabbit or any chipmunk can carry on a conversation. You can too." "Not with them." Goldie rose to check out Runt's bowl again. She licked it thoroughly, though it was quite clean already. "When I want food, I bump my bowl around. When I want to go out, I take my leash to them or scratch on the door. They understand simple things like that. But there is no point in talking to them." "You mean?" Runt was amazed. "They can't talk at all?" Oh, Goldie paused to scratch her collar again. "They can say a few words, but not enough to carry on a real conversation." "What kind of words?" "Like sit and come, fetch, bad dog. A few words like that." "Sit, come, fetch, bad dog? And what do you do when they say those words?" Runt's question was almost a whisper. "I do what they tell me, of course, and then they give me treats." Runt stood suddenly. He began backing away. I've got to go." He was almost panting. "My family is waiting. I've got to go home." Goldie didn't move. She simply sat there, watching him with her mild brown eyes. Her look said clearly that she thought he was silly to leave, but that she was much too polite to say so. "Come with me," he said. "Come and meet my family. I'll show you the life in the forest. It is good." "Thank you." Goldie rose, and for a moment Runt thought she was going to join him. Then she shook herself and sat back on her hunches once more. "You are very kind," she added, "but I belong here. Don't you understand?" Runt didn't understand. But even as Goldie spoke, he noticed something he hadn't before. Goldie couldn't have followed him even if she had wanted. A long chain attached to the collar around her neck was also attached to the corner of the human nest. Runt stared, horrified. Then, not wanting to embarrass the gentle creature, he turned and hurried away. He crossed the clearing at a trot, and without a glance backward toward Goldie or her jailers, slipped into the welcoming arms of the forest. And that is it for Chapter 10.